Hello and welcome to Procrastination Station. This is a show about sustainable creativity and self-sabotage. I'm your host, Hannah, and I'm a multi-passionate creative with lots of feelings, too much compassion, and a splash of sass. I believe everyone self-sabotages from time to time, sometimes even unaware that they're holding themselves back. I want to know how our setbacks can become our superpowers and how we can grow through our downfalls to find gifts within us to bridge the gap for people to fill the spaces where we lack. In other words, how can we invite all parts of ourselves to come along for the journey? Self-awareness is the first step. I believe we make change by reflecting on our values and perpetuating our values to our community. I get in touch with my values through creative practices, and I use the show to share those values with you by encouraging you to be more creative more often. Throughout the show, you will hear my pseudo-intellectual business opinions, superpowers and setbacks to perceived flaws, and creative strife and victory. Please keep listening, and I hope you enjoy today's topic. Hello and welcome to today's episode of Procrastination Station. Today we're talking about reverse engineering, or doing things backwards. You know the story of an entrepreneur who spends 7 weeks developing their product, they take it to market, and it's an instant hit? Was that my story? Heck no. My story looks more like a big dream and some big life things happening simultaneously when I got fired and dropped out in the same day that I started my business. I took the big leap, putting all of my eggs into the proverbial entrepreneurship basket and started networking immediately with the raw skills I collected in college and 1 year of working in the industry. I had no idea what I was doing, and I had rent to pay. I was not ready by any means of the word, and frankly, perhaps no one is ready to start their business, but I was not prepared for the journey I was about to undertake. Today's topic will be guided by the subtopics instructions, guidance, and examples, one long case study, knowing what you bring to the table, owning your year, and the trout that swam upstream. Let's get into it. Before we get into it, I want to show you the little guy that's in my thumbnail. He's a little guy made out of clay. He's a gnome with a flower pot and a snail, and I made it myself, and it was just fun. It has nothing to do with this episode, it was just fun and kind of matched my outfit, so I wanted to have him featured in my thumbnail. Anyway, moving on to our episode. Instructions, guidance, and examples. Mentorship is a cornerstone of effective growth from point A to B. I will never argue against the value of an aligned and knowledgeable mentor. Mentors can help you avoid mistakes and get you where you want to go faster, but in this section of today's episode, I'm asking if they're all they're cut out to be. The perspective I'd like to offer is that although a mentor can help you get from point A to B to C faster, there is tremendous value in going from point A to G to F to X to B. In my experience, this happens when you're operating alone or without a fact checker or a mentor. The value here is in the opportunity to develop your instincts. And by not relying on the words of a mentor to tell you the way it's always been done, you can perceive new solutions to existing problems. Without using the instruction manual, you may just be the one to figure out a solution that's even more efficient than what we've discovered already, and you become the new instruction manual. I personally don't have a mentor that I work with on a weekly basis. I have had mentors in the past, and frankly, they've led me down the wrong path more often than they've actually helped me. Whether it was from miscommunication, misalignment, or they just didn't fully understand the goals I have with my business, I've been steered away from doing things to support myself that I've found myself drawn back to after being told it's the wrong way to go. By dabbling in things, it's given me the opportunity to find what I'm uniquely good at. For example, I've had mentors tell me that I can't be a consultant without 10 plus years of experience in my field, which I fundamentally disagree with. As a consultant myself who's actively still learning, perhaps I don't have the same wisdom as a seasoned consultant, but I don't have the same limiting beliefs either. A seasoned consultant might hear a new idea and immediately think, that's never been done before, and that's for a reason, whereas being me, I'll give anything a try as long as I weigh the time commitment with the potential outcome. If you have a coach or a mentor that helps you feel heard and you find clarity after meetings, keep it up. I don't want to deter you from the legitimate benefit of speaking to someone who has more experience than you. I still have mentors, but I tend towards information that's freely available online by finding examples and listening to people I want to be more like. The reason I haven't found success from a mentor I meet with on a weekly basis is because I have a nasty little habit of going left when I'm told to go right. And now for one long case study. My original hypothesis, can I be an entrepreneur? My working theory, hell yeah. For me, the entrepreneurial process follows trial and error, selling the wrong thing, trial and error, working with the wrong people, trial and error, undercutting myself to attract the right people, more trial and error, and then imposter syndrome slowly relinquishes control over my actions and finally doing whatever the heck feels right in the moment. Trial and error has also looked like bold confidence in going against the advice of others, devastation in the face of my mistakes, eventually making it to a place of confidence and security at least 80% of the time, and then the final realization that imposter syndrome is here to stay, but it doesn't need to be in control of my actions. Entrepreneurship has been one long case study to overcome my obstacles in my personal development and creating a system that works for me rather than working myself into a system. In other words, it's involved pushing myself farther than I thought possible to have the work ethic to get up every day and do something that will make tomorrow easier, and developing systems so that I won't have to work quite as hard tomorrow. This has also involved listening to the words of people who have come before me and done what I want to do, and recognizing that understanding things in theory is very different than understanding things in practice. So with every piece of advice I get, I'm back to the drawing board to see how it supports me in my existing system. And now for knowing what you bring to the table. Quite some time ago, a spiritual mentor who helps me manage my energy helped me realize that I'm a trailblazer. The reason I always want to go left when I'm told to go right is because I want to carve my own path in this world with respect to my career. To me, this means that when I am given advice, I have to sit with it before immediately shutting it down. If I could turn back time, there's one piece of advice that I wish I followed, and that's developing my offer. When I first started out with my business, I was networking relentlessly and ready to do whatever was asked of me. I didn't have just one skill that I could present to the people I met, but I was ready to learn any skill required of me to fulfill my end of the bargain. In essence, I was the leaf in the wind hoping to catch a current I could ride, when in reality, I wanted to be the gust of wind that shakes every branch and picks up the leaves that were ready to ride my current. This is what led me to take on projects I didn't want to do, like graphic design and accounts management. Now that I have developed my offer, I can lean more into consulting and help people make an impact with their marketing by teaching them how to do it their own way without either of us bending over backwards to fit a mold. I've developed my offer to be mutually beneficial by combining my knowledge into a course, meaning I can help more people spend less time doing it, and I have a strong offer I can bring to any crowd who can either take it or leave it. You could argue that I wouldn't have all of the knowledge I do without the trial and error phases when I started my business, and you'd probably be right. I don't regret my journey with entrepreneurship as it's helped me develop my instincts, and I've learned so freaking much about the way business works and the way that the world works. But if I could go back in time, I would even develop a very simple digital product that I can sell to people and not have to rely on learning a new skill every single time that I met somebody. And now for owning your year. Set a big goal for the end of the year and imagine the benchmarks needed on a monthly basis in reverse order. Then from there, imagine the steps needed on a weekly basis down to the minute detail of your day to day. After deciding on your goals and creating a blueprint for your year, I want you to throw that blueprint to the wind. You heard me. I want you to understand where you want to go and then ride the currents of life that feel right in order to get you where you want to be. The reason I don't want you to follow a blueprint is because you're capable of capitalizing on the opportunities in front of you, but you're not capable of foreseeing every possible opportunity that will arise in the meantime. It's so important to have goals, and it's even more important to have a general plan of action to keep you moving towards your goals. You can fall back on your blueprint when you don't see any opportunities directly in front of you, but don't limit yourself to only take action on the steps you decided on yesterday. You start every single day with a new phase, and just as tomorrow's goals don't need to impact today's action, yesterday's failures don't need to either. It's important to look at your goals and your failures not from a place that's emotionally charged, but from an objective place. I want you to have a plan of action you can lean on, but I don't want you to write a Bible for yourself that you can't deviate from if a current opportunity looks better. Who knows? Maybe you've started a boss entrepreneurial journey with a day by day blueprint and you get an opportunity to work for a company as an employee. Gasp! And maybe that's the same opportunity that will teach you more skills that you can sell in the future and allow you to network while you turn your colleagues into customers and grow your audience base. Getting a job when you want to be an entrepreneur is a hard pill to swallow, like a horse-sized pill, because starting a business is like nurturing a new life and any backpedal feels like a failure. But believe me, the exact scenario I shared with you has happened to me, and nothing but good things have come from what felt like backpedaling at the time. And now for the trout that swam upstream. There's a feeling of isolation when you go against others' advice or their impression of you. Although the feelings of isolation for a trailblazer can be intense, the death of one reality is necessary to create space for your new reality to emerge. By leaning into my desire to go against the grain, I've been able to connect with people who don't expect me to see the world the same way that they see it because they do the exact same thing that I do. The diversity of perspective and the mutual respect I feel when sharing our differences is how I know when I've found my tribe. Give zero fish sticks about the opinions of people you attended high school with. If they don't pay your bills, share your bed, or advocate for your peace, allow them zero real estate in your mind. This is a constant reminder for me with which I know I'm not alone. You're allowed to try things and fail. You're also allowed to put yourself out there even with the creepers from the old days silently judging you. The key thing here is what on earth are they doing to better themselves? Chances are, nothing. And what are they doing to create a life that caters to them? Chances are, they're stuck catering to life, and their judgments speak volumes that they wish they had your courage. As this episode comes to a close, I want to remind you, you're allowed to go against the grain of the advice you've been given throughout life. In fact, when you're part of my community, I encourage it. I do want to play devil's advocate here, though, and challenge you not to go against the grain when the grain works. That's a good way to come across as arrogant. Sometimes people know better than you on particular matters, especially when you're starting out a venture that's completely new to you. But ultimately, you know what's best for yourself, and if the traditional framework of mentorship does not quite cut it for you, there are always alternative paths to get you to where you want to go. Even if that means firing your coach in order to learn from books and YouTube, or trying something and failing in order to find your true purpose in your failures. Whether you're someone who likes to know the steps to get where you're going, or you like to blindly aim your way through life, just know that I'm proud of you. Thank you so much for being here with me. Really, truly, I appreciate it, and so does my gnome guy. And I'll catch you in my conclusion. Cheers for now. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I hope you enjoyed today's topic. Please share your feedback with me on any of my social channels, and remember to subscribe. If you would like to support this show, you can buy me a coffee with the link in the description. With your tip, you get lifetime access to downloadable activity sheets and the warmth in your heart knowing that you're helping a small business. I also have a marketing course called Marketing Mastery, a self-study program. There's no group component, there's only 4.5 hours of content that you can do in your own time, and it's packed with info about using platforms like emails and YouTube to grow customer lists, and social media to drive traffic to your customer lists. I also have one-on-one marketing consulting services for creative businesses, and if you'd like to discuss how I can help you in your business further, please reach out to me via email. And if you have feedback about my show, please use my social channels. You can find all relevant links in the description below, and thanks again for being with me, and I do hope you come again. Cheers for now!